I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Jay Komarek. He's been around for a while. He comes from a family of 16 chiropractors. So we want to hear what he has to say. Traveling the world, checking and releasing that subtle substance on four-legged creatures right now. But I'm sure the wisdom he's going to bring to us is going to rock our world. So let's welcome Jay Komarek.
There's so many things. After 36 years of doing this, especially with the animals, it brings such a joy to your life, the animal portion. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But as I'm looking around, I'm looking at people that I've known over the years. And there's Dr. Cordero took care of my mother, and I'm indebted to you. We have a leader in the profession that we can be all grateful for. It's an amazing road chiropractic has been on. You have this fundamental principle of chiropractic that is so pure and so beautiful, and we've, in a good part of the profession, gotten pretty far away from that. So when we have someone who steps up to the plate like Dr. Cordero, and who's willing to stand on the principle like the Rock of Gibraltar and not waver, you can count your lucky stars, because without him it wouldn't happen. Without leaders like that, it just wouldn't happen. You can see the direction after all these years. The profession is wavering all over the map. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for taking care of my mother. My mom's a tough cookie. She's from Algeria. She's French, and she's a piece of work. And anyway, my mom loves Dr. Cordero and Debbie. I was thinking about the educational process, and I was thinking about we have so many incredible leaders in the profession. Liam? You have Rob Sinna. You have Christopher Kent. You have just these amazing individuals. Matthew McCoy. We've got these amazing brains. We have Donnie Epstein here, which we can all be grateful for, of what he's contributed to the profession. And just thinking out of the box to get us to think expansively. Sue Brown, who's not here. We have all of these amazing, amazing individuals with great talent, great intellect. And it's this, as I was preparing for this, I was thinking about the educational process, and I was thinking about, well, we have this fundamental premise of this intelligence in matter, and it's an intelligence, a wisdom, and then we have this neurology, and we have this physicality, and we've got these 33 principles that we've got to stand on. And the paradox of that is that you've got to continue to go out and study in all these other realms of the profession. And at the same time, you go and study and learn all you can from Komarek and Donnie and every other Sue Browns of the world, and at the same time you do that without throwing the baby out with the bathwater, meaning that you stand strong on this principle. And in order to do that, you'll have a major confrontation with yourself. I love everything that's been presented, but in my 36 years, my battle was with me. I had met the enemy, and it was me. It was me. It's you. And it really was a confrontation with my willingness to stand up and confront, like Lee was saying, confront, but it was my willingness to show up with someone. That is really my ability to just stand with someone and love them. And that was kind of the vehicle that made the message easy to deliver. That if you're willing to stand with someone, really, be with them. and love them just as a human being for all of their wackiness. All of you know there's a lot of wackadoodles out there, and but you love them just because they're wacky, you know, and you love them because they're brilliant, and you love them because they all have love and innate intelligence inside them. And that's, to me, that's ultimately what the premise is about. As I was thinking about the educational process, I had the opportunity this a week ago. I was taking a look to see where it is that was anything similar to chiropractic, where there was a premise that acknowledges this intelligence, this wisdom. And I realized that we see that in the Waldorf educational process. That Waldorf, since 1910, acknowledged the spirit in each child and realized that they were on a journey to discover who they were. And their mission was in Waldorf to prepare children for life and to prepare them for lifelong learning. And I want to encourage you to do that. After 36 years, I still study. I love to study. I love to read. And at the same time, without abandoning the principles. And as I was thinking about Waldorf, because I was talking with my partner about that, and she said, well, I know a director who's been at it for 36 years. Why don't I put you in touch with him? So I got on the phone with the director of Waldorf, who's set up educational systems throughout the country. And my glasses, I don't know. Oh, here they are. Well, I'll remember it. I got to talk with him, and I said, how was it that you stayed so true to the fundamental principle and tenets of Rudolf Steiner? Like, how did you not waver? And how did you just stay like a root? And he said, we had non-negotiable principles and tenets. We had non-negotiable principles and tenets. And I'm like, well, we have principles and tenets in this profession, but what? They're kind of watery. They're a little bit watery. And they've been made watery by the educational process. I said, well, it's wonderful that you had these non-negotiable principles and tenets, but how did you enforce that? He said, well, we set up an accrediting agency whose job was to maintain that. And I was like, okay, got it. So, I don't want to talk to you about building your practice. Practice is easy to build. You love your people. People will come out of the woodwork to come see you and deliver the goods. You've got to go learn how to adjust. And I don't care whether it's at the low frequency end or low force end or the high force, upper cervical, but you're going to have to learn that full spectrum of frequencies and delivering an adjustment with an authority. And there's that's essential. As I continued to talk with this gentleman, I said, what were the outcomes? What's the outcome of Waldorf education? And he said, well, we just did a study on 500 of the students, the graduates, who've all gone on to like major Ivy League schools, have done really pretty well. And they did a study, and they had an outcome. And these were the three things that the graduates felt that they got from a great education from Waldorf, which was one, they learned to think out of the box. And I want to encourage you to do that. So you got to think differently. You got to think differently. And you got to think uniquely you. It's got to be you. It can't be Jay, can't be Edward, can't be Justin. It's got to be you. And you've got to find the you in you. And you do that through quietude and silence and prayer. And the second thing he told me was that they learned the value. This was of the study. This was that they just completed. That the second thing that they learned was the importance of community and collaboration. And that's huge in the profession here. That we must learn to collaborate with each other. That is, we've all been these lone wolves here, paddling our own canoe in a survival mode for the most part of just trying to pay your school loan back, pay your bills, take care of your family. And I'm encouraging you to get involved